All right, well, hey there, Warriors. Let's start this test review. We got a few requests, and I'm going to work out a few other ones to help prepare you guys for the test on Thursday. First of all, don't forget to email with me if you have questions. I'm happy to give you guys some feedback. Feel free to take pictures of your work, send it to me, whatever you need. Ask me questions. Wednesday, we'll do some virtual office hours for tutoring, and we'll get on Google Meet. All right, check these out, and then let me know what questions you guys have. All right, so 1 and 2, find the excluded values for each rational expression. All right, so remember that excluded values, when we ask this question, what we're talking about, or what we're asking really, is the values that make the expression undefined. So remember that it's undefined when the denominator equals 0. So that's really all we have to do when we talk about excluded values, is take that denominator, set it equal to 0, and solve. So in this case, I got a little bit of work to do because I need to factor this, but that's okay. We've got tons of practice. So we need multiples of 6 to add up to 5. Not 5. Let's see, 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. All right, we got to do this a long way because a is 3. So we're going to change that middle term to 2x plus 3x. And now we're going to group our first two, group our second two, factor out our common factors, pull out that x. I'm left with 3x plus 2. And nothing here, so we're going to pull out just a 1. 3x plus 2, that looks good. And remember, this is equal to 0. I could put that on every line. There's my first factor, x plus 1. My second factor, 3x plus 2. And of course, you can do that with guess and check if you prefer. Now we just take each one of those, set it equal to 0, and solve. And when we solve those, then we get that this is going to be undefined, or the excluded values. X cannot equal -1, or let's see, if I subtract that 2 and divide by 3, -2/3. Those are two excluded values that make the denominator equal to 0. All right, let's see, what else do we have questions on? Let's go ahead and do number 3. So we're just going to simplify this expression. So remember, the name of the game here is factoring, so we're just going to factor everything. So if I look at the top here with 3, I pull out an x, I'm left with x squared minus x minus 12. All right, let's keep going with that guy right away. I can factor that quadratic, -12 on the top, -1, so that's going to be -4, +3. So that means my numerator here is going to be x, and then x minus 4, and x plus 3. All right, so the denominator there, let's go ahead and do that one too. -3 on the top and -2 on the bottom. So that's going to be -3, +1. So this factors to x minus 3 and x plus 1. All right, so let's just keep going straight across the top. Factor this guy, pull out a 2, we get x plus 1. And on the bottom, we can pull out an x, and we get x minus 4. So now all we're looking for is what's the same on the top and the bottom, and we can start canceling these things out. So let's see, we can cancel out x minus 4, x minus 4, x plus 1, x plus 1, x cancels with x, and that looks good. So what we have left then is, on the top, we have 2 times x plus 3, and then on the bottom we have x minus 3. Voila. All right, let's do a division. All right, I think I'm going to go with number 6 here, because this is all monomials. We've been doing some factoring with binomials and quadratics. So remember, with division, we need to change to multiplication, multiply by the reciprocal. So we change it to multiplication. First rational expression stays exactly the same. Don't mess with that guy. Change to multiplication. Flip this over to the reciprocal. So I like to just rewrite my problem before I start doing anything, and that just helps me make sure that I get everything simplified that I can. Now from here, it's up to you guys how you want to start canceling these things out. So I'm looking at it like this. Let's see, I have 4, I have 16. So we can just cancel like this. 4 goes into 16 4 times. We need color here. Come on. Color, how about green? 16 cancels, and that gives me 4 left over, and that 4 cancels. All right, 24 is 3 times 8, so that's going to cancel a 3, and that's going to cancel the 3 and give me 8. And now I can cancel this 8 with this 4, so that's going to cancel to a 2, and that's going to cancel a 1. All right, so there's all the constants that we have. Now let's go ahead and look at our variables. Remember, we subtract the powers, larger minus smaller, and wherever they're left, that's where they're going to be left over. So on the numerator, still got 2 on the top. So you have x squared on the top. I have x cubed on the bottom, so that's going to give me the x to the first on the bottom, and I got that 3 on the bottom too. All right, so there's the x's. We got those guys. Y's, we have a y cubed on the top. We have a y to the first. 3 minus 1 is 2, so that gives me a y squared on the top. All right, so that took care of my y's. A cubed on the top, a to the first on the bottom. 3 minus 1 is 2, so that gives me the a squared on the bottom. And then b to the first on the top, b squared on the bottom. That's going to give me b to the first on the bottom. And that looks like everything for that one. All right, let's keep cruising. All right, more division. I'm going to leave those to you guys. I'll get some solutions up later for you to check. This is for you to kind of get through this on your own. Simplify the following expressions. Let's keep going. Let's do one addition and or subtraction. Yeah, let's go down here and let's do number 11. All right, I got a little bit of factoring work to do, but remember we need a common denominator. Keep that in parentheses. Keep that in parentheses. Remember, when we subtract here, we're going to be subtracting the whole thing. We got to factor that denominator. -10, -3, so it's going to be -5 times 2. And we get x minus 5 and x plus 2. All right, this is nice because we already have the x minus 5 over here in this denominator. So that means that we just need to do this guy times x plus 2 and x plus 2. X plus 2 and x plus 2. There we go. All right, so we don't have to multiply this 4 by anything. But remember, if we do, make sure we distribute that negative sign carefully. All right, so now let's go ahead with our numerators. I'm just going to go ahead and distribute this guy right away, and then we'll put that -4 on there. So x times 2x squared, x times 1 plus x. 2 times 2x is 4x, and 2 times 1 is 2. And then I'm going to take this -4 and stick it right there. All right, and then everything over a common denominator, x plus 2 and x minus 5. All right, now let's just go ahead and simplify, and we are good to go. So in our numerator, 2x squared plus 5x minus 2 over x plus 2 and times x minus 5. And boom, there we go. All right, so there's getting our common denominators. Let's keep cruising. All right, we did have a request for number 13, so let's go ahead and do number 13. And it looks hard when we have a constant like that or something that's not irrational, but remember 3 is a rational expression. It's just 3 over 1. So think about this one as a fraction like that, and remember, all we need here is a common denominator. So even though that looks kind of confusing, look at the denominators that we already have. We already have x minus 4 and x minus 4. So all we need to do is get this one to have the x minus 4 denominator. All right, now remember, once we have all those denominators the same, now we can make a new equation with the numerator. So in my numerator now, okay, take this guy, and that's our new equation. Once we get the denominators the same, we can cancel them out and write our new equation. So x plus 8. Notice I'm just getting rid of the parentheses now because I'm not canceling, I'm not multiplying. Okay, I'm going to distribute that 3 right now. Plus 3x minus 12. I'm going to distribute that 6 equals 6x minus 12. And now we just solve this simple equation. Okay, so let's get all our x's on one side. Let's get all our constants on one side. I'll simplify this side first. So 4x minus 4 equals 6x minus 12. All right, I know a lot of you guys like to always move the x over to the left, so let's go ahead with that. Minus 6x, 4 plus 4, and we get 4 minus 6 is negative 2x, and negative 12 plus 8 is, or negative 4 is negative 8. And here we go, we get x equals 4. Now, remember, we got to check for those extraneous solutions. So what happens if we try to plug in 4 into that denominator? Oh no, 4 minus 4 equals 0. The denominator cannot be 0, so this is extraneous. If you get that denominator to be equal to 0, that means it's an extraneous solution, which means 4 is not a solution at all, and it means that this problem has no solution. All right? So we got some good stuff going on there, good things for you guys to think about. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about for a review today is our sum and difference of cubes pattern. All right, so remember, we can do a couple of these if you guys want, but I really want you to make sure you understand this pattern and where it's coming from. So what we're looking at is that we have two terms, sum or difference of two cubes. We have two things cubed. So here we have x cubed plus 2 cubed. And when we write our pattern, it's always going to be first the binomial with each of those terms. So x2, same sign. Then we're going to make a trinomial. And the first term is x squared. So it's that first one squared. Now it's going to be a different sign. Different sign. Okay. Then it's going to be 2 times x. So we multiply those two original terms together, 2 times x. Then our last sign is always positive. Always positive. All right. And then this is our last term squared, 2 squared or 4. All right. So there's our sum or difference of cubes pattern. All right. Let's do one more here. Let's go over here. Let's see. 64 is 4 cubed. So this is 4x cubed. And 729, let's see, do we know this one? Let me check my calculator really quick. 729, cube root of that is 9. All right, so that's 9 cubed. All right, so if we look at this thing, again, apply that pattern, guys. First term plus second term, same sign. Then the trinomial, first term squared, different sign, first term times second term, so it's 4x times 9, always positive, last term squared. So here we go then, it's 4x plus 9 times 16x squared, make sure that looks like a times, minus 36x plus 81. And there we go. All right. For those of you guys that are looking to raise your grades, please complete the rest of this today and email it to me. Okay? If you want extra credits, complete this today and email it to me. If you complete it tomorrow, you will not earn extra credit because tomorrow I will be posting the full solutions for you to review. All right. Again, those of you guys that are looking to raise your grade, complete the rest of this. Send it to me today, and that means Tuesday, April 21st. Okay, On Wednesday, I will be posting the first full solutions. You will not have an opportunity to earn extra credits. All right. I will hopefully see a bunch of you guys tomorrow at our Google Meet to get you prepared for our test on Thursday. Adios.